Okay, here we are on another IBC Gridwalk. I am lucky enough on this Gridwalk as we go and tour Hall 1 to be joined by Wolfgang Zeller, and I'm sure that you'll correct me if I get this job title wrong, but I'm going to go for it.
Okay.
Head of Architecture and Development for Vodafone TV.
That's absolutely correct.
There you go, 10 points there. Do I get a smiley face?
Yes.
Look, we've been talking about potentially doing a podcast for so long, and actually adopting this format for our conversation, Wolfgang, makes me really happy because hopefully we'll spot a few friends and peers in the industry as we go around.
In this hall for sure.
Definitely, I think we'll probably get a few interruptions, positive ones, productive ones, but there's a few really awesome topics that I think we've got the opportunity to discuss. You know, we were discussing them earlier as we were WhatsApping each other. We're going to be talking about the TV journey from mobile operator to converged player. And, you know, the aggregation play that you've been working with, some of the topology and the technical opportunities that come with that. Where do we start with that story? Maybe we should start with you. What's your background? How did you end up with this accountability?
So that's very interesting because as soon as I was at university, I was working at a local cable operator.
There you go.
Doing cable modem installation. So,
really?
So yes, it was like 3 DOCSIS and everything. For those in the industry, if you remember LAN City cable modems that looked like car amplifiers, I was installing customers, went then down to system engineering, and then I was always intrigued by moving pixels in one way or the other. And then I got into TV, and then moved from Vienna, where I initially come from, to Amsterdam, then back to Vienna, then to Munich, and now here I am at Vodafone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny. I was just interviewing in the last Gridwalk that we did. I was speaking to JP McCurley from TOD BN, another telco guy. You know, data transmission seems to have delivered so many of us telco guys into TV, which at the end of the day is what's in the engine, right? All of this consumption that's happening. Let's talk about the journey from, you know, operator to, you know, having all of this content and Vodafone TV.
Yes, it's actually...
You've seen this kind of journey strategically with telcos. Telco is a term that now comes up a lot in the media industry. You can kind of understand why. Give us the high-level summary of, you know, your involvement in that, the need to do it strategically.
My journey with Vodafone pretty much started. I was working at the time at Kabel Deutschland, still doing system engineering and video engineering. And we got acquired by Vodafone when Vodafone decided that they're going to go and acquire a lot of fixed players. More looking at fixed network assets. Surprisingly, that brings a lot of TV service with you, right? So they acquired Kabel Deutschland in Germany, after that owner in Spain, pretty much at the same time. And then the last big one was then the takeover of Liberty in Europe and consolidating the market. And I've been on this way from start one, from day one basically, where we started pretty much on the green field. We sat together. And it's like all the stories, you're on a napkin, you write on what you want to do, what the infrastructure is going to look like.
Wow.
And there we took it off. And I had like the pleasure to work like with big names like Luis Lopez and Nuno Sanchez on this journey on the product side to define what today is Vodafone TV. We started with 0.
That's incredible.
We didn't took on board any legacy stuff. We thought we want to do something new. And then we had pretty much free hand in choosing the vendors in the ecosystem we wanted to build.
Wow.
And that was more than 10 years ago, and here we are still, meeting friends that we started off on the vendor side, on the team side, that moved around the industry, but everybody's still in the industry. And when we started off, there was not much out there. Everything was like legacy, on-premises. Nobody ever thought we should do it on the cloud.
Wow.
And we were the first one trying, you know what,
cloud first.
Let's try this cloud thing. Let's see if this flies.
When was that?
That was like more than 10 years ago.
Wow.
And at that time, you were building huge data centers. You put your CA security system into cages with cameras. Classic broadcast. There was not much OTT streaming. It was beginning. It is actually the pre-iTunes days of streaming. There was no Netflix. It was the early days of Netflix when we started. To put this in perspective. So we built that cloud platform. We had our big failures doing so. It was a lot of trial and error, but we made it work. We had our first Linux set-top box at that time because Android was around but not that mature at that time.
I was going to raise this topic with you.
Yes, and we got our Netflix integrated on our Android on the Linux set-top box, and that's where we started.
What about security? I mean, with the accountability that you're charged with at Vodafone, that must be a constant thought in your mind.
It is like, how should I say that? It's a daily problem. You need to worry about keeping your content secure, your infrastructure secure. You have obligations, commitments to content owners. piracy is a topic, CDN leeching is a topic.
Yeah.
In the early days, none of this was present.
Yeah.
And we thought, okay, we've been working quite a lot with our strategic partner, which is still Nagra, it's no secret, to move also the security system into the cloud.
Yeah.
And that was also a bit of a game changer for them. They haven't done that, and we were quite a demanding customer, and they joined with us, went on this journey, and now we are managing our security completely cloud-based. We moved away from hardware security to pure software security in our latest generation of set-top boxes. Again, gives you a lot more opportunities, a lot more flexibilities to react to all different kinds of security concerns you may have.
I can only imagine what the anxiety levels can be sometimes with making decisions pertaining to Vodafone TV security. I mean, if that's compromised, it's going to be big news.
Yes, but it's not. Yes, it is, but if you operate in the context of Vodafone, Vodafone is very huge when it comes to running large networks and run them securely. Right?
Yeah, of course.
So we have to follow, thank God, a lot of compliance rules in terms of security, cybersecurity inside Vodafone's, and then you put on top what you need to do for your content security. Yeah? It's like things like watermarking, token access to CDN, and yada, which everybody's talking about. And yes, you have some issues, you follow up, you have to fix them, yeah. But so far, we have been very good in doing this, or the team has been very good in doing this.
Absolutely. I'm lucky enough to speak to a lot of guys in your kind of positions, similar positions, technology accountabilities. But you know what I notice more and more, and we've done this as well in our conversations over the months, Wolfgang, that conversation inevitably is becoming more and more a content-orientated conversation.
Yes.
Guys like you, who at the heart of it are technologists, are also becoming subject matter experts on content and the nuances associated to different types of content as well. Sports, for example. Do you feel that in your day-to-day when you look at your diary, your agenda? Are you expected to have a dexterity for different types of content when it comes to...
In a sense, we are pretty much challenged every day to bring enough technology enablement to make sure content is delivered in the right way, and that delivery fulfills whatever user requirements are out there.
Yeah.
So the latest thing we're talking around is obviously like low latency.
Yeah.
And if you operate different type of networks than Vodafone, being on fiber, cable, mobile, DSL networks, it brings all sorts of challenges because no infrastructure is equal, and you need to find a solution that works harmonically across those. Yeah. So yes, content is always key. Yeah? And if it's now integrating with third-party apps, doing content aggregation, all those type of things end up somehow in the platform, and you need to manage this.
Yeah, absolutely. That point around content aggregation, I'm glad you raised that because I wanted to ask you this question. More and more conversations that I'm having are not just about an OTT platform, a window through which to provision content to a consumer. They're actually turning more towards digital ecosystems. What else can we do? If you look at some of the telcos in the Middle East that I've got some proximity and relationships to, the way that they are able to orchestrate lots of different apps, finance, healthcare, you look at all of these different things. What's your posture on that? And from a technology perspective, behind the scenes, these digital ecosystems, do they actually make it more simple because they're different stacks anyway, or is there convergence within the technology?
So there is, funny enough, a bit of a convergence. So we made a conscious decision to put our bet on Android TV, and by enabling this ecosystem, it opens up a huge variety of applications you can integrate.
Yeah, absolutely.
With, I wouldn't say zero, but very little effort to make this play in an operator environment. Yeah? Because as an operator, you still have some requirements in terms of building relationships, again, security. You want to protect your customers, you want to protect your infrastructure, but you can put applications, whatever you like, you can think of.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm always amazed what you can do and cannot do in our set-top boxes these days.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your reflections on, we are out of the COVID era. COVID regularly still comes into conversations.
Yes.
We're out of that now. We're heading towards the turn of the year, kind of Q4, everyone comes out of summer over to Amsterdam, and then it's the race to the end of the year.
That's true.
If you had to summarise a few headlines about 2025, what have you witnessed? What would be your reflections?
Whoa. That's actually a tough one. I've really thought about it for 2025 because we're still in the middle of it. It's like the end game.
Christmas will be here before we know it.
I know, but like every time, yes. And every time it's on the 24th of December, and everybody's surprised. Project delivery, there is a freeze, you cannot do anything. So yes, there are a few strategic deliveries we want to do on our next-gen set-top box platform. That's clearly a highlight for everyone. We have changed a little bit the way how we develop our clients, the front end. We brought in new partners, which is now showing the first results and first fruits. So that would be for me clearly a highlight for this year. Yeah? So we had quite a bumpy road this year, I have to say, on some of the things. But the team did an awesome job in making sure we stick to our committed deliverables on our high level.
And kind of the extension of that, inevitably to an extent, what are you thinking about for 2026? Is there any significant milestones that we should look out for from either Vodafone or that you think are going to happen generally in the market? I mean, the World Cup is something that's come up when I've extended that question to other people. That's
there's always
biggest content event.
There's always a sport event somehow. Which means for us it's going to be a bit of stressful because we need to make sure our platform scales, that we have the right devices out with our customers in time. Those kind of things, but that's like almost BAU. It happens every 2 years, every 4 years, but it always brings some additional efforts, marketing campaigns, and those kind of things associated. 2026 for us is going to be for sure continue the journey we're on, broadening our ecosystem on Android TV, getting on the platforms that are more cost efficient for sure, because there's always pressure on how many money you want to spend per subscriber to deliver services.
Absolutely.
And that will be it. So I haven't spotted anything dramatically new here at IBC.
No.
If that's the
Same.
next question,
No.
same. But then you never know what comes next.
It's listening to what you just said and talking about the World Cup. Capacity planning for anyone that owns infrastructure, where it's going to come under extreme demand, and you're going to get a lot of very unhappy people if it collapses. How do you go about doing that? Is that a big part of what you do, or is that kind of the...
That's a combination we do with the engineering and the operations team who run those platforms. We are very lucky. We are still a big broadcasting platform, if you like. But our share of OTT is increasing, which means you have to pre-provision capacity. You have to pre-scale the platform, which we are doing. We are again going to end up in proactive war rooms to see how login rates are behaving, how video streaming delivery is going on. So you're passively consuming those events, but on the backside of it, out of the engine room.
Yeah, absolutely. Wolfgang, I'm so happy that we got the chance to do this. And I want to express my gratitude at a busy guy like you for a mega brand sparing the time to be a guest on the OTTRED Spotlight podcast, and for us to be doing it with this format as well.
I do like it. It helps my steps again.
Exactly. A few of the beers from last night. Yeah,
I gotta hit the 20k I think today. Not sure about you, but
I'll check when we finish.
And likewise, thank you very much.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it. Thank you.